Hey, fellow fragrance enthusiasts and lovers, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the good old Centaur Fragrance channel, and today we're going to be talking about one called Divine or Divin Impart. I don't know if you've heard about this fragrance. I don't know if you know about this brand, Naomi Paris, but this fragrance is interesting, but it falls flat for a lot of reasons. But first off, let's talk about the smell. First off, you're getting ylang ylang, a little bit of iris butter, and musk. It's not a very complex fragrance. To me, there's not a lot of ylang ylang in this fragrance, and I'm not the biggest fan of ylang ylang, so I kind of like that there's not a lot of it here. If you've never experienced ylang ylang, I encourage y'all to get out there and smell it. It's a yellow floral, almost a little bit loam, almost has that a little bit of full-bodied, maybe oiliness to it, and it's quite the fascinating, playful little yellow floral that at least likes to leap. I feel like the ylang ylang has a lot of movement to it, has a lot of energy to it. So you're getting a little bit of that playfulness off the top of this. But then as the fragrance dries down, the iris butter here is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, but it's very subdued. Naomi Paris, a lot of their fragrances are very subtle. If you're watching my reviews, Naomi Paris, I hope that you make your fragrances maybe a little bit more full-bodied. A lot of them feel like musk fragrances, like the heart of the fragrance or the majority of the fragrance is a musk, and then you added a little bit of notes just to maybe add some accents to the fragrance. They all have a similar style to them. I do have to say that this fragrance has so much potential. That's a little bit why I'm heartbroken with this one. It has so much potential. The name, again, is called Divine Impart, or Divine Part. It's supposed to be glorious, almost like a godly fragrance, and reminiscent of like the particles that maybe created the universe, and a little like, fantastic things like that. Brings that imagery kind of to your forefront, and I do think it's a good concept. To me, this feels like almost like the beginning of the core of the fragrance. Like, this isn't an even complete heart or mid of the fragrance, and then it's missing the top, and then it's missing the base. I feel like it's an incomplete fragrance. And I'm not saying that because I dislike the brand. I actually really like Kalahari. It's one of my favorites, modern, wearable, musk type of fragrances. And I really like a Titlan. It's really growing on me. But this is one, I just think it has a lot of potential, but falls really flat. It's not complex enough. It doesn't have enough notes. And I also feel like the fragrance really doesn't have a lot of projection and performance. Longevity-wise, I think you're going to get close to 5 hours or 5 to 6 hours out of this fragrance. It's kind of like Naika. Naika, though, has very poor projection in my experience. This one maybe will give you a little bit better projection and sillage, but not much. It's still going to be average or maybe slightly below average, and it's still going to give you 5 to 6 hours of longevity. So overall, it's not very interesting. It does smell of good quality. I really do like the iris butter, that it's more subdued. It doesn't really have the purple type of vibe that iris can have. It doesn't really have the powdery nature. It really doesn't have any of that makeup nature that iris can have. And I almost wonder as well maybe this is an interesting different form of orris, and maybe you meant to put orris butter on this. That's also a possibility on your website. So let me know if that is the case or not. I do find that interesting. Maybe you're using a different. It doesn't. This honestly could be a different type of interesting orris butter instead of the iris, but a little bit floral, a little bit subdued, a little bit. It has some interesting qualities, but just not enough. And again, the potency is just not here. When I went out and wore this fragrance, it didn't do much for me. It didn't get compliments. It didn't feel overtly seductive. People didn't really think it was, really didn't even notice the fragrance on me, honestly. It was more of a personal fragrance, almost like a second skin type of fragrance. It just really didn't get me noticed at all. And for when you're paying this kind of money, I know that this brand is supposed to be more wearable, more inoffensive, a little bit, maybe a little bit more subtle. Maybe I think that's really the intention. I still think the fragrance needs to be noticeable when you get close to somebody. I still think the fragrance needs to stand out and have a lot of personality. And I really don't get that personality from this fragrance. Again, I like the name, I like the story and the concept, but Naomi Paris, I think you could step up, and of course I think you could do better. So it's just not what I'm in love with. But thank y'all for sharing this with me. The samples were sent to me when I did get my Kalahari in the mail, so they were nice enough to do that for me. So I'll see y'all next time, though. I hope that you like this review. It's straight and near dear from the heart. If y'all, I forgot to mention the price. It's just like the others. It's a little over $200, and then if you really wanted it, you probably have to pay some tax and some fees and some shipping, and it's just really expensive to me for what the quality and the concentration of what you're getting. Again, Atitlan and Kalahari to me are the standout fragrances of the bunch, and those are the ones I would go for. I do think that they need to up the concentrations or find some kind of way to make these fragrances have a little bit more presence to them, have a little bit more personality, and be glorious like I know that they can be. I really like the brand and what's going on with the imagery and the style behind the brand. So thank y'all for being here, my friends. If you like this content, honest, straight to the point, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. I'll see you next time, everybody. Wear what you love, rock what you got. You know the old motto. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Rock on, my friends. Peace out, and bye. Wear what you love.